Good morning, everybody. It's the Saints man, the small van courier driver on the CX. It's Saturday 21st, and it is 8:45 in the morning. Thought I'd get this done. Got a busy day today, playing golf. It's my weekend. I don't work weekends, very rare. Playing golf today with my little Irish mate Liam, who's a bandit. He's retired, so he's playing about 2 times a week now, and I play once a fortnight if I'm lucky. He's even sent me a scorecard. Yes, Thursday to say what he'd shot and just said the bar's raised. He went round in 81. So we're going to have problems today because the little git's playing really well. I'm playing often and I'm not, but hey, we'll see. Anyway, this is last time I left you was last YouTube video I did was Tuesday afternoon. I was in Bristol. Waiting to pick up COVID to take to Slough, which I did. It was 4 o'clock. I picked it up at 4 o'clock. It was a good drive and all, 90 odd miles. It took me just I got there about 10 to 6 because it's all motorway, all M4. There's only a little bit on the Bath Road in Slough. Dropped it off, and I think I mentioned that I may be getting a job the next day out of Northampton from a shipper that I worked with that day, who phones me. He phones me direct, which is really good. I think it's a good thing if you can have that. You haven't got to. He knows your price. I give him a fairly good rate, but hopefully the rate I give him is good for me as well. He likes me doing work for him because he knows he's going to get. I'll represent his company. Nice tidy van, well dressed. So he knows that he's going to get the job done. It's going to, it's quite an important department stores, but it's quite important work, and he wants it done right. And he did phone. I was on my way to Slough. I weren't going to stay in Slough because, as I said before, everyone's going to Slough. Every small van is in Slough taking these COVIDs, and there's just not enough work. So I was going to move away from Slough anyway, and it just confirmed. He phoned and says for the next day, which was a Wednesday, it got virtually the same run as what I did on the Tuesday. But instead of Cheltenham, Cardiff and Bristol, it was Oxford, Cardiff and Bristol. And so great. And pick up that night. So I could start whenever I wanted, but I've got to get it all done by 2 o'clock on the Wednesday. So we did the Slough, dropped it off, back to Northampton, which is nearly 70 miles, but I'd got really good mileage that day. Picked up the 3 drop-offs for the next morning from 2 miles from where I live, and took them home. And then, so Wednesday morning, I got Oxford, first drop, looked and they opened at 8, decided I was going to be there at 8, crack on, get it done. Second drop was Cardiff. I could have done the Bristol one second, then the Cardiff, which would have saved me 30 miles, but Bristol is a much more, it's an area where you're going to get work. There's masses of work comes out of Bristol. Cardiff, yeah, you get a little bit out there, but you may wait and you may struggle, whereas I knew Bristol I'd get some. So we did Oxford straight away. I was there at 10 to 8. He was there already, loading dock, 5 minutes, literally less than that. Straight out, and on my way to Cardiff. Stopped and had something got a coffee. Lee Delamere Services, grabbed a coffee and a bacon roll from my favourite Greg's, cheap deal. And yeah, we did Cardiff. I've done Cardiff before, so I know exactly where it was, right in the centre, but down a slope, service area, easy peasy. And out of Cardiff, straight back to Bristol. Got back to Bristol and it was about 12 o'clock done. So for that I got 153, which is a good day anyway, and I'm at 12 o'clock. So decided to have my break. Morrison's, where I dropped in Cribbs Causeway. Let's just have a coffee. It's alright, it's a bit early. Where I dropped in the Cribbs Causeway in Bristol, it's not actually in Bristol Centre itself, it's just outside Bristol. Right by the M5, massive. I've told you, Cribbs Causeway is one of the biggest retail places I've ever seen. There's stuff everywhere, including Morrison's. I think Asda's there as well. So into Morrison's we go, and then I'm just looking for a job to get me somewhere home, so I can be picky and choosy. Jobs are pinging. And I thought, well, I want to get home because it's bike night. Wednesday's bike night at All Seasons Cafe. There's the bike. Northampton, my wife's cafe. My daughter and wife run it. And the weather's looking fantastic, so I wanted to get home. And the nearest thing that was going to get me home was a job from Corsham to Watford, which had been on there. It's a little bit out. It's towards past Box. You go down towards Bath and Box, so it's a bit of a distance. So I quoted up, and I quoted it 88 to Watford, virtually £1 a mile, because it was a bit of a way to get to, and got it straight away. And the pickup was like, I think it was 1:30. Yeah, it was 1:30. So I goes to Corsham, place in Corsham, and it was a data centre. Security was massive. It was a data storage place, and I was picking up, I don't know what item, but it was going to Watford, and I've got to pick it up on behalf of. Never been to this place before, and immediately I could see this is going to be massive gatehouse. You introduced myself, who I was, what couriers I was working for, and they said, if you park in the 20-minute bit, we'll have to look through our computer to see if the portal, to see where, what item, have you got a reference number? Yeah, I'm collecting on behalf of this company. And she said, I haven't got it on my portal. She says, that's not a problem. Have you got, and I'd already phoned the number given because it was a bit of a pain to find. And he said, yeah, just go to the gatehouse, give me your inbound details, and they'll send you on your way. Wasn't as easy as that. In fact, it was nowhere near as easy as that. She couldn't find it, bless her. But I phoned the shipper to say, have you got any more info? The info they got was that. I was picking up apparently a load of screws or something. I don't know. So she got in touch with the contact for their company, who the number I'd got. He passed it over to someone else. Says, I think it's at another distribution. It's at another centre, not at that one. She said, well, he's come to this address and this address is given. Anyway, it went on. And then he says, it is there where you are. I'll have to. She said, well, before I can let him in, past the security gates, it has to be on my portal. I have to have a reference before I can give him his ID badge, his van ID badge. And it was like, this is going to take a while. So the shipper phoned me back to see how I was getting on. I said, I'm still here. It was now 2:00. Right, okay. So I'm like, I've been there half an hour. And the shipper says, I'll tell you what I'll do. I'll let you know how it's going. It looks as though something's going to happen, but I'll give you a ring when I'm loaded and we'll see how long it is. He said, okay. So it's got to come on this portal. By that, she says, well, you definitely picked something up. She says, so have you been here before? No, I haven't. And to be honest, I don't want to go back. She said, you have to read this health and safety folder. It was about 8-10 pages. And it was all to do, then you had to sign the book to say you understood and agreed with the terms. I was like this. Flick through it. It's all COVID, blah, blah, yeah. But I'm like, I just want the bloody parcel or whatever it is. I want to get on my way. Anyway, so I filled it all. I did that. And then she says, I wear a baseball cap, as you all know. Can you take your mask off and your hat? I've got to take your photo for your lanyard. If you need to put your registration in your vehicle, they have to check that. It's a storage data place. It must be something really important. Massive, but hey. Eventually, she phoned him again, and he put it on the portal as an ordinary end of day. She went, it's got to be emergency. The man's here now. He's been here 40 minutes. So then he clicked and put it through eventually. So I've been there 45 minutes. And she said, it's a pallet. I'm like, really? I've just got a box. She says, I said, that's fine. She says, can't you take a pallet? I went, yeah, I can take a pallet. So I eventually got in, through one gate, before the other gate had opened, the gate behind me had to shut so it was secure, compound. Went all the way around, and it was on a pallet, but it was 3 boxes. Quite big boxes, weighed 15 kilos each, 3 boxes. Got it all done, but I was there about an hour and 5 hours and 10 minutes. But I phoned the shipper as I was leaving and said, I've just got it, and it is now 3:00. No, it's now 2:00. And I've got there at 1:25 to 3, and he says it's just can't believe the aggro and really appreciate you waiting and being patient. He says, what do you want to put on the waiting time? I says, well, if you just put a tenner on it, I says, that'll cover me half an hour. I says, but what a place to get into. I says, and I'm glad I'm out of it. I had to give all the lanyards back and all this bump. Yeah. And so waiting time, that's the first waiting time I've charged. And yeah, I thought if I got a quick tip the other end maybe, but I thought no. That's an hour, and I'd driven, and the shipper was fine, absolutely fine. She says, yeah, absolutely no issues at all, mate. It was a bloke. He said, I'll put a tenner on it right now. He says, appreciate you doing it and waiting. He said, it's been a pain, I can see. I said, well, I'm going to be in Watford for 4 o'clock. And he said, brilliant. He says, they're open till 5. I said, that's fine. So, I do like a nice coffee. So, yeah, we got it to Watford. 3 boxes. They were unsealed as well, which I wrote down. I took a photo when they put them on. But when I got there, the bloke knew what it was. They'd over-ordered something, or they'd something cocked up. He went, yeah. He says, I said, what a pain getting them. He said, yeah, they're a nightmare company to work with. He said, but you have to work with them. So that was done. Finished Watford. Got paid 98 quid for that instead of 88. So I was a tenner up. And Watford, it's not too far. It's about 50 miles from home. Up the M1, and I got to bike night. I was at bike night by 5:30. Brilliant, and we had a great bike night. Yeah, stayed there. Had good grub at our place as well. Cumberland sausage, bat, and bowl of chips. Yeah, about 3 coffees with the guys. Really good bike night. Must have had 400 bikes. I left about 8:30, 8:45. Probably later than that. Actually, probably 9 o'clock. So I didn't walk the dog, but we only live about just across the road. Well, it's about 3/4 of a mile. So when I got home, walked the dog, and job done. And Thursday, so I hadn't got a job for Thursday. So I thought, well, I'll have a bit of a lay in because I'd done a long day that day. I'd done 400 miles that day, exactly actually 400 miles, but I'd earned £251. So really good day. Anything over 200, anything 200-ish or over is good. I set my target at 200 a day, which is a tough target, but set a target and yeah, crashed it. Went straight through, 251 for 400 miles. So on to Thursday. Thursday I thought was going to be sort of a quietish day, but got a job pretty quick from Rusden to Nottingham. And there was nothing coming out of Northampton at 8 o'clock, 8:30. But I got a job Rusden, pick up 9 o'clock, going to Nottingham. And I quoted quite keenly on that, 63 quid. It was about 90 miles. I wanted it because Nottingham's a really good area. And it was NG6. And I recognised it, I thought, that's the hospital. And it was. It was 2 parcels to go to the ultrasound department in Queen's Medical Centre. Any guys been to Queen's Medical Centre? Huge hospital. And I'm bugging if I just park at the front. I just put me Courier magnetic things on the van so that people know it's a Courier, and one on the dashboard, and I just park pretty much, shove it anywhere I can get in, but right in the main reception. I've been to the theatres there before. It's miles to find them. I've been to radiology department, bloody nightmare. This one, ultrasound department, went into the main reception, thought, here we go. I'm here to help. You get these guys. And I said, ultrasound department, any ideas? I've got 2 boxes. I said, I'm a courier. And he just went, it's just there about 10 yards along the corridor, first left. Wow, top banana. Straight in, lovely. It sometimes works like that, it sometimes don't, but it did. So straight in, bang. They were waiting for it. It was parts for their machine, which was bust. So they were really appreciative. I got it there. 63 quid. Yeah, worth doing. And I managed to park, and where I'd parked, I wasn't on double reds because there's double red lines around there. You can't park even courier drivers, but I was just sort of up the curb and out the way a little bit. So I thought, I'm not going to move. I'll stay here and see if I can get another job straight away. And Nottingham's pinging away. And I picked one up from North Nottingham. It said Nottingham to Winsford. It wasn't actually Nottingham. Well, it wasn't. Yeah, it was about a junction up the motorway, and yeah, it was out of Nottingham, but it was fine. Yeah, I did that job. That was for 68 quid to Winsford, which is south of Warrington, south of Manchester, had a nice drive actually on the 38 up across to Stoke, the A50, and picked it up that way. Yeah, really nice. And easy enough, and dropped off in Winsford. Found a Morrison's because I wanted something to eat, and I'm really in with Morrison's £3 deal. I think it's much better than Tesco. Sandwiches just seem nicer, and I get I like the dried fruit with the Greek yogurt and the like granola type stuff you can mix. You get that as a snack and a drink, so it's £3. So I did that, fueled up, and I thought I might struggle here to get a job. And believe it or not, I got a job from Crewe, which was 5 miles north, back to Nottingham. Back to Nottingham. COVID, to the Bioscience, Nottingham. Everyone must have been there, north of Nottingham, I thought. Yeah, and I got that, and it was out of... I didn't realise Bentley is being made. Bentley Motors is in Crewe, and it was their health department, their leisure department. They'd lent it a little building out, and it was 2:30 pickup, so it was great, and I've got like enough time to do it. Got there 2:25 after having my break, and lady straight away come out, and she says, I said, I'm here to pick your COVID up. I said, I'll just sit in the van. She says, yeah, 3 o'clock. I went, okay. I said, okay, I've got 2:30 on mine. I said, but it's not a problem. She says, no, not 1 minute before 3 o'clock. Okay, fair enough. And she seemed quite, I thought, I said, yeah, and I just, no problem, not at all. So I didn't say anything, went and sat in the van, phoned the courier up, the shipper up, I'm the courier, phoned the shipper up, who said, oh, yeah, she's either 2:30 or she says, you've got to wait till 3 o'clock. She says, are you okay? I said, yeah, I said, it's no problem. And instantly she said to me, she says, what I'll do, I says, I'll put £10 on the job for you. She said, if that makes it any better. I said, that'd be brilliant. I didn't even ask this one. I probably was going to say, I'm sitting around doing nothing when I could be doing something, and it was quite a good area to get work. But she just gave me, she says, ever so nice. And I was like, that's absolutely fine. I says, I'm quite happy. So I sat around and waited. Nice weather. I thought, well, I'm out a little walk. So I went a little walk down the road out of the leisure centre, out of Bentley's, and come back about 5 to 3. And she come out at 3 o'clock, nice as pie. Completely different woman. I'm like, okay. In fact, she was very chatty, and you know you want to get on. And yeah, she wanted to chat, which is fine. So I didn't leave there till about 3:10, and it was to Nottingham, back to where I come from. Again, I booked 58 on it, but with the extra £10, they give me £10, it was 68. So that day, I done a 63, a 68, and another 68. So that made me £199 for the day, and got me back to Nottingham. I was at Nottingham about 4:30, 4:45, no, later than that, 4:45, just before rush hour. Dropped it off. I've been there a few times. It's a really good tip. You get a signature as well, and unlike Norwich, they will sign your paperwork, which I'll rather do. But that was my second payment for waiting time in 2 days, and I've been doing this for getting on for a year now, about 11 months, and that's the first time I've had waiting payment, because I've never had to wait anywhere more than 15-20 minutes. So it was like, wow, it's quite staggering. So I decided that was it. Nottingham, I was going to stay at Nottingham. I was looking for work out of Nottingham now at 5 o'clock. I thought, let's see if we can get another job to take me over the 200. I've done 199, which is 200 to me. And I quoted on one to Manchester from Mansfield, is that right? Something like that. But as I quoted, my phone went, and it was the shipper who I've been doing the work for the department stores on the Tuesday and the Wednesday. He said, Dave, have you got anything for tomorrow? I said, oh, he says, are you close by? I said, I'm close enough to come back if I need to. He says, do you want to come back and pick up and do a trip for me tomorrow? It's one drop in Exeter on a Friday. And I went, do I want to do Exeter on a Friday? And I went, yeah, I can do that. He says, the good bit about it, he says, it's taking a box down to Exeter and bringing one back. It's a return. Yes, oh yes. I says, well, do you want to work the mileage out on it? And how much, you know what my rate is? I said, but we can probably work something out of that. So the mileage was, he worked out 400 round trip there and back. And I said, well, give me the rate. I can give the rate of this. And he says, can you do it? I says, I'll tell you what, I can do it. I'll do it. I worked out, I thought, 65p a mile all in, 400, 260. Yeah, 120, yeah, 260. I thought I could easily do that. And what the cruncher was, he said, the box you're returning, you can get it back to me anytime. I'm like, excellent. So I did it for 255. He was really happy. I'm happy because he said to me, even if you don't bring it back Friday, it's going nowhere till Monday. He even offered to come to me because he lives near, his mum lives not far. He said, I'm popping in mum's. He said, if you can't get it back before 8 o'clock Friday night, don't bother. Don't worry about it. I'll come to you. Wow. So, ching ching. Yep, we'll have that. I said, yeah, I'll come back. So that decided what I was doing. I cancelled the quote on the job that I was just quoting on. I drove from Nottingham back to Northampton, still on pretty good mileage. I did 350 miles, only for £200, so I was a little bit out on that. But I picked up one parcel to go to Exeter, and he lets me. I'm flexible with this department. It says you're booking a time because you only got one a box or you're a small van. You're not held to that time. I was going to be in Exeter early, so I was. Friday morning, I left my house at 6 o'clock in the morning, down to Exeter, and it was 195 miles the route I took, cross country. Stopped, grabbed a coffee, Lee Delamere again, had a breakfast baguette this time because I hadn't had no breakfast before I left the house, just a cup of tea. And on my way to Exeter. Got to Exeter, delivered it, 10 o'clock I was done, delivered, and picked the box up. And the box was no bigger than a shoebox. It fitted in the front of my van. So I've got an empty van. It's Friday. I'm just looking for anything home. I've got the money to just drive home empty. Well, one box and deliver. But that ain't, no. I'm going to get some up and I'm going to stay in Exeter. I thought I'll stay here till 12 o'clock if I have to. 2 hours, and anything going north towards me or anywhere, I'm going to jump. I'm going to give them a good price. Not a silly price. I still thought, and Exeter, there weren't many drivers around. There was 2 little small vans within 25 miles. So I thought, a good chance I can put a good quote in. These may be local guys on a Friday who don't want to travel too far. So a job popped up, Axminster to Tewkesbury. Tewkesbury's north of Cheltenham, right on the M5. I thought, that's great, because if I can get that, it was 110 mile, I was 15 mile from it, something like that. I thought if I get that, so I quoted 80 quid. A cheap quote really, under 60, it's about 60 pence a mile. Cheap quote, but it was only one box pickup. It said one box, 5 kilos. So I thought, I'll quote on that, but if I don't get it, I'll get something else. And I did get it. The phone went. It was a 1:30 latest pickup. I've got plenty of time. But he says it's ready now, I think. This was about 12:30. Something like that. Is that right, 1:30? No, it was the 11:45 pickup. I'm thinking, well, I've got to get there. 11:45 pickup, and it was about 10:45. And he said, but I think it's ready now. I said, that's great. So he sent it over, but the traffic was quite heavy. I had to get to Axminster, which is on the road to Yeovil, the 303. Does that ring a bell? Anyway, it was heavy traffic, and it took me quite. Axminster's in the middle of nowhere, on the way sort of Dorchester way, that road. Got there in the end. It did take me a little bit while, and he gave me the wrong reference number, but we got it sorted. It was about a 20-minute. Again, I'm not getting quick turnarounds this week, but 20 minutes it was. And we got the motor in the end, and it was going to Tewkesbury, and I thought, that's all right. It was 102 miles. But then it said on my Google, 2 hours, 45 minutes. I'm like, what? Now, I've got 2 sat-navs, one on my phone, Google, and one in the middle of the window, which just gives you how long it's going to take doing speed limits with no congestion. It just does it as if you could do it the speed limit. It doesn't account, that's the word for it, account for congestion. That tells me it's 2 hours. So I've got 45 minutes, and when it comes up on Google, you probably see it on maps, it goes red. That means there's congestion ahead. I thought, well, just do it. So this job for 80 quid turned into a 4-hour run, over 4 hours, because when I got on the M5, I didn't even get up to, I was at Taunton, I got on, all the way up to Bristol was rammed, holiday makers, and it was slow, 40, 50, I never once put my cruise control on. Gets to Bristol, I thought, if I can clear Bristol, that'd be alright. Coming down the other side, Friday traffic, horrendous. So I gets past Bristol, going up the M5, and we start to pick up speed, and then it says, I've got 9 miles to do, and it's going to take me 45 minutes. You are still on the quickest route. What? And I come to a grinding halt. And I enlarged the map so I could see what was happening further up, and it was red. But where I was delivering to in Tewkesbury was literally 400 yards, less than that, about 200 or 300 yards from the motorway. So it was still the quickest route. I got there 20 past 3. Jesus. But it was 80 quid, and it was all bonus because I'd got the money, with the first job. But it was sat in traffic, Friday traffic. Anyway, I'm rambling a lot here. But we got it done. Delivered it. He was happy. I thought, I'm going home. I was hoping to be home Friday. I said to my wife, I said, I'll do this Exeter. I said, if I don't get nothing, I'm just going to turn and burn. I said, I could be home by 2:30, 3 o'clock at the latest. I said, you still had a good day. Had a really good day. But then it was 3:15, and I weren't going back on the M5. No way. That north was knackered. So I put in home on both sat-navs, A46 to Evesham, Stratford Road, blah, blah, blah. I thought that would be nice drive at home. No, the A46, because everything was coming off the M5 to go up the A46. I thought, Jesus, it's going to take me, I'm going to get home at 5, 6 o'clock here. This is a 12-hour day, but money's good. I'm over 300 quid, I'm £335, so I'm not going to moan for 12 hours. And I thought I'd just poodle home. So I was still in a good mood, I weren't in a crap mood. I was coming to Evesham, stuck in traffic, doing about 10 mile an hour, and a job pinged up. Evesham. I was in Evesham. I was going that slow, I could do it while I was going along. Evesham to Rugby. I thought, well, and it said, pays 40 quid. No, pays 45 quid. And it was like 45 miles. And I thought, I might as well do that. £1 a mile, I'm going that way anyway. And when I checked where I was a mile and a half from it. I was literally next roundabout, turn right. So I quoted on it. I quoted 45. In fact, I phoned up, quoted. He says, yes, yours, mate. He says, how far are you away from it? I said, I'm in Evesham. I says, but I'm in massive traffic. I says, but I'm only a mile and a half away. He said, oh, brilliant. Pickup's 4 o'clock, between 4 and 5. And this was 4 o'clock. He said, God, that's got me out of a jam. He said, lovely. I said, that's fine. And it was picking up from a beautiful little business park just outside Evesham, Buckminster. Does that ring a bell? Buckminster. Yeah, Buckminster. And I went in, and it was the Hermes to Rugby, which is, yeah, it can be a pain. It was taking his parcels. It was a shop, in a beautiful courtyard. I'm going to have to take my wife there, because there must have been about 40 or 50 shops, cafes, built on it said it was a fruit picking factory years ago. It was owned by someone. They've turned it into little quaint units of arty-farty stuff. It doesn't rock my boat a lot, but I'm sure it's a good ride on a motorbike, good day out, park up, nice cafe. So pulled in there, and the bloke was well happy. Sorted out, got his parcels, 36 small parcels, up to Hermes. Took him to Hermes, job's a good one. Yep, all done. It took me a while to get to Hermes to Rugby. 45 miles took me an hour and a half because of the traffic, and I went B roads to avoid the traffic, and it still took me an hour and a half. But I got into Hermes about 5:40, 5:45, 5:45, something like that. And luckily, have you ever been to Hermes at Rugby? Yeah, it's massive. There's Amazon, DHL, Hermes. There's another one. Well, I can't think what those, but there's 4 humongous hubs. Straight in Hermes. Got to the gate. I was the second one in the queue. He got me through. You're right, unloading him yourself. Takes me to Bay 88. Dropped him Bay 88. Bloke was there. Brought a cage out. 36 parcels in. He signed my paperwork. I was out 5 minutes. Normally Hermes, I don't like doing them, but when it's like that, it was 10 minutes all in. But when I went on the exit gate, which is all one-way system in Hermes, if you've been out of Rugby, you turn left. I looked to the right, 15 vans, lorries in a queue all the way along the road. Now, if I'd have been in that queue, I would have been there 45 minutes, I bet. It was chocker. So I fluked that, and I'm 30 miles from home. So that was it, me done. On the way home, I dropped my parcel. Because he's still there at Brackmill. He's Northampton, Brackmills. The shipper where I did the job for first thing in the morning. So I dropped that parcel, and brilliant. He was happy as Larry. I got there about 7:15. Yeah, about 7:15 they took me, yeah. And I was home. Had a little chat with him actually. I could have been home by 7:10. Had a chat with him. Really nice bloke. He's happy, I'm happy. He said if I get anything coming up next week, I'll give you a ring first, which is, yeah, brilliant. Because it's good work. He gets a good job. It works 2 ways as far as I'm concerned. He gets good job, I do a good job, I think. My feedback's really good. I'm representing his company. He knows he's going to get the job done. Polite. Everything's going to be done hunky-dory. It shouldn't be any problems. So I'm representing his company, so I'm doing good. The customer's happy with his company, which is me, representing his company, so he's getting the work. So it's all good. And I'm getting well paid, so it works both ways. So that was the week. I was home, yeah, long day. Just over 13 hour day. But you can't knock it when it's 380 quid. It's one of my biggest days. I think I've done a 390 once, but £380. And if you think 13 hours, and I didn't work for a couple of hours, I had a couple of breaks, but if you say 13 hours at 30 quid, that's 390, so I was almost 30 quid an hour right through. So yeah, brilliant day. I did 426 miles at £380, 89 pence every mile that day. That was a mega. That got my week right up on the pence per mile. So the summary is, I did 1,857 miles that week, which is a lot. But I was down the southwest all the while, Cardiff a couple of times, Exeter, Bristol. I spent a lot of time down the southwest, and the money was one of my best, which was 1,238. But you take out the mileage, still a really good week. That's really good week. I aim for 1,000 a week, and I can get paid, and everyone gets, the bills all get paid, but I'm getting okay money. So, but you got to count holidays. See, I've just had a week's holiday, no money. Nothing come in, but my price per mile over the week was 67. Friday built me right back up, so really good about that. So that was my week. It's been a long one, 34 minutes, Jesus. Rambling a lot, but hey, if you like, push the like button, be brilliant. If you want to subscribe, do that, it helps. I'm up to 27, 28. Oh, I did get a comment from a guy, can't think of his name. He must be in Sheffield, because he asked if I knew if any work come out of Sheffield. I did reply to him on there. This was last night he answered. I answered it this morning. He says, love the videos. Appreciate that. I wish I knew your name, but I haven't got it. It's began with J. That's all I know. He loved the video, which I'm, cheers for that. But he said, do you know if there's a lot of work comes out of Sheffield? My answer to that is, I would imagine there's loads of work, because Sheffield is a really good area. It's right on the motorway, and within 30-mile radius of Sheffield, you've got Leeds, Chesterfield, Rotherham, Doncaster. Let's have a look. What else? South, Mansfield, Nottingham's not too far. I think that's a really good area. I've been to Sheffield and got work pretty much like that. And also, you get work out of Rotherham. It's a affluent area. Leeds, Bradford, they're all a good area. You are within a really good catchment area. Chesterfield, like I said, Mansfield probably. Yeah, there's not a lot wrong with working at Sheffield, I would think. That's just my opinion. I've never had a problem. I've done lots of work out of Leeds. I've never been stuck. I can't remember being stuck. This is the way to put it. I can't remember ever sitting there and thinking, this is not a brilliant area. I've done that with places before. I've been to places like Lincoln, and I've sat at Lincoln and thought, I could be there an hour, 2 hours, a couple of hours. You know, you sit somewhere in the middle like Hereford or somewhere, and you can't, there's nothing. You know, anything in Wales, mid-Wales, even South Wales after a certain time. But I think the area Sheffield is a really good area. So that's just my opinion. I would say, yeah, there's definitely work in Sheffield. In fact, I looked this morning, quick look on my laptop, put Sheffield as my home location within 30 miles, and on a Saturday morning today, and these jobs are Monday, there was 11 jobs there. And on Northampton, I look on Northampton then, and there was only 4 jobs for Monday, or whatever, today. So that's all I can say on that. I would say yeah, but hey, thanks for listening, thanks for watching. So if you want to like, subscribe, whatever, any comments, I will answer them. Might take a while. Another full week next week, hopefully. Carry on with the good work. You've got to get it in where you can. But I say I did a lot of hours this week. I think I did about 58 hours, getting on for 58 hours. I'm definitely doing 11-hour days, which is a lot. But money's really good at the minute, so you've got to make hay while the sun shines. I'm on holiday in a couple of weeks again. I'm off to Spain on the motorbikes, which has been cancelled for the last 2 years because of COVID, so I want to get a bit of money in. Anyway, rambling again. Hope you all have a good weekend. I'll catch you later in the week. I'll probably try and do one Tuesday or Wednesday next week. So it gets it going. Cheers.